Hey everyone, it's Chris here at Bluerhino Safaris. Um, just back from Tour de Malawi. It was the first time that I've really done a focus trip on Malawi, and it was really warranted. I enjoyed the trip tremendously. It was a nice trip with a lot more that I did not expect. Normally, when I come back from East Africa, we travel through Malawi, sleep there for a night, 2, 3 nights, 4 nights, whatever the case may be. But you visit the lake and off you go. And if you speak to South Africans and you say, well, have you been to Malawi? Yes, we've been down to the lake. It's a very nice place. And that's where it ends. But Malawi has a lot more to offer than you might realize. And this trip is a trip that I'm trying to show you that. Because Malawi has highlands, because it sits on the edge of the Rift Valley. You have a very nice highland area. You have the lake itself, nice national parks, which are being revamped in most places. So Malawi is picking up a little bit for tourism, and the true colors of Malawi and the nature of Malawi, as in the natural beauty of Malawi, is being pushed upwards from where it used to be. So it really is worth it. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to do a mid-range tour, not quite East Africa, but not quite Botswana, then Malawi fits in right there. And therefore, my Malawi trip 2023 was fully booked. I had a waiting list, and 2024 is going to be fully booked as well, and very quickly so. So if you're keen to go to Malawi, if you want to do a 2.5 week trip into Southern Africa, please look at the video and make sure that you get yourself organized to join the trip and come with us. It is on the website. You go to the 2024 tours page, and if you are on the page all the way to the right, you'll see Tour de Malawi is there. Departure date 15 September 2024, and it is for 17 nights. The first night is Nato in Botswana, so you get yourself to Nato in Botswana. We do the trip, and then we finish in Harare in Zimbabwe. And the reason for that strange finishing point is Cape Townians often want to go back through Botswana to get back to the Cape, and therefore Harare makes the most sense for them to be the last night. If we go further down to Beitbridge, they're almost forced to go via Messina, and it's a bit of a mission. So we're finishing in Harare, although the next day I'm coming back down south, sleeping in or outside Beitbridge. It all depends on the road. But the road's being tarred, so it's getting much better. And I think you can get through to Messina quite easily from Harare next year. Most definitely you will. So that's sort of the plan. Ending up in Harare for the last night, night number 17, and then head back in whatever direction you want to go. Wangi, Monopools, whatever you want to do. Monopools is only 3 hours from there, so it would be quite easy to go up and visit Monopools if you wanted to. The price is there if you're a SADC person. If you're an international visitor, there will be a little bit more cost involved. So the itinerary is there. You can have a look at the itinerary, and then we have the map as well. So let's quickly go through the map. The first night, Nato in Botswana, nice restaurant, easy place to start the trip. The next morning, 3 hours, fill our vehicles, cross the border, and then on to Livingstone. So it's not a long afternoon. With a little bit of luck, between 2 and 3 o'clock we are in camp. That gives you 2 hours to visit the falls if you want to do that, maybe a chopper flight if you want to do that. The idea is to finish our falls activities in the afternoon. The next morning, early, first thing, I want to get out to Lusaka. It's a 6-7 hour drive, fairly straightforward, but it takes time. And once you get to Lusaka, I want to sleep on the other side. I want to go through Lusaka and avoid traffic for the next day. If we sleep in my normal campsite on this side of Lusaka, the next morning we're going to lose 2 hours just to get through the city. So I want to do it in the afternoon, get through Lusaka, and then we are out on the other side. Once we are through Lusaka, it's a very straightforward day into Chipata, and then straight on to South Luangwa. So we don't have to sleep in Chipata, we can go straight on to Luangwa for 2 nights. The 2 nights is as per normal. We sleep outside of South Luangwa National Park. We go in for the day. Your park fees, your camp fees, all of that stuff is included in the trip. So we go in for the day. We drive around, have a look at what South Luangwa has to offer. A really pretty camp, everything happening more or less around the bridge area. And then once we're done there, late morning back towards Chipata, just 2 hours or so, and we'll be in Chipata town, and we sleep there for the night. So late morning, early arrival, do a bit of grocery shopping, make sure we have everything, and then spend the night in Chipata. Next morning, first thing we go through the border. Once we're through the border, we head to our campsite. Again, in case we have a bad border crossing, the campsite's not too far, so we can arrive early and have the afternoon off. Or if it's a long crossing and we have issues, then at least our camp is not too far. From this campsite, we head up to a place called Mzuzu. Mzuzu has a ShopRite with good shopping availability. Do a little bit of grocery shopping and then head off to Nika Plateau. Nika Plateau we're going to do for 2 nights. It's quite expensive camp, a park to visit, but it is included in your fees, your park entry fee, your camping fee, all of that again included in your fees. So we spent 2 nights at the Nika Plateau. The day in between is going to be a little bit of do what you want to do. If you want to go for a drive, you can do that. If you want to go stay in camp, you can do that. If you want to visit the waterfall or the juniper plantation or whatever you want to do, there's quite a bit of things that you can do in the area. Roan antelope, reedbuck, zebra. There's even a lion walking around from time to time that comes across from the Zambian side. So a little bit to do, 2 nights there. It's on the Highveld. I think it's about the same altitude as Belfast in South Africa, and about 1800 to 2000 meters, somewhere thereabout. So very mountainy feel to the whole setup. Once we're done there, we head down to the lake for 4 nights. This will be the first of 4. Again, we stop at Mzuzu for a bit of shopping if we need anything. Then down to the lake. Arrival at the lake at about 3 in the afternoon. Just go for a swim in the lake. Relax a little bit. Go for fish and chips maybe in the restaurant. Very nice fish and chips in the area. And then the next day we travel all the way down the lake to the Cape Maclear Monkey Bay area. There we're going to spend 3 nights. I asked my guys, do we do 2 nights? Do we do 3 nights? And everybody says do 3. Take a day off and the other day you do some activities. Sunset cruises, feeding the fish, fish eagles, scuba diving, snorkeling, whatever you feel like doing. There's 3 days available for that. Once we're done there, we carry on with the exit of the lake on the Shire River, and we travel down to Majete National Park. Majete has the Big 5 in it at the moment, so newly stocked, very nice park on the banks of the Shire River. So that is Majete for 2 nights. Small park, so it takes only half a day to drive through it. The area that is normally frequented by tourists. So it's quite easy to get through and then take the rest of the afternoon off. The next day I added a little bit of a day into it, just not to ride my luck too much. We go into Mozambique and we sleep in Tet for the night. So in Tet for the night for Mozambique, and then next day we go through into Zimbabwe and down to Harare. And that will be our last night. We sleep in Harare for the last night. If you want to go into town for a bit of a jolt, you can do that. Look for a restaurant, you can do that. Otherwise, from here, if you want to go up to Monopools, or you want to go to Vic Falls, or you want to go back to the Cape, or to Joburg, or to whatever, you can do it from Harare. Next day early, I'm on my way south to Beitbridge, and we'll see how the day goes, how far I get and what I do. But this is our last night in Harare, and that is where the tour will conclude. You can tow if you want to tow. 4x2, 4x4 is fine. It's not rainy season, so I'm not expecting any muddy terrain. 4x2s will be alright, 4x4s will be fine. If you are towing, it's better to have a 4x4, just in case there's a little bit of a hilly section that needs a 4x4. But if you're not towing, then a 4x2 will be perfectly fine. The roads in Malawi is quite narrow. Just be aware of that. That's normally why I discourage towing. On the narrow roads, truck from the front, you coming from this side, the shoulders are very sharp and you need to figure out how to get past the truck. If you don't tow, then it's quite easy to do that. You just leave the road. But if you are towing, you have to think about another vehicle. So it's one of those. But I did have towing vehicles with me. We didn't have any issues on towing vehicles with punctures. On the trip itself, I think we had one puncture and two punctures, two or three punctures for the whole trip, and it was 9 vehicles in total on this last trip. So if you're interested, please have a look. Please let me know. As I say, your park fees, your entry fees, or your camping fees is included in this, and that is for Nika Plateau 2 nights, Majeti National Park for 2 nights, and South Luangwa for 2 nights, and the rest of the trip as well, of course. But those are the parks that we include in this trip. Cool. If you want to go with, let me know urgently. Email, WhatsApp, phone me, send a pigeon, whatever you need to do to let me know. Otherwise, stay safe, drive safe. I'll see you soon. Cheers.